All right, tonight's first problem's asking if you can tell whether both problems are equivalent or not. So first thing you got to look at is 12x minus 2 is finished. There's nothing you can do with that. So looking here, if we're using our order of operations, we have to multiply the 3 times the 4x. So 3 times 4x is just 12x. And then you also have to multiply 3 times 2. You keep the symbol to get 6. So you have 12x and 12x, which those are equivalent. But then you have this minus 6 and minus 2, which aren't equivalent. So no, they are not equivalent. All right, moving on to the next problem here. You have a rectangle, and they're telling you the area is 1/6. They give you the length, which is 1.5. What is the width? What is the perimeter? Show your work. So I think I have a tool here to give you a rectangle. So if I have my rectangle here, I know that the length is 1.5 or 1.5. I like to use decimals. I like to stay away from fractions. So I got two lengths right there. So I already know it's up to 3 for my perimeter, but we'll get to that in a second. To find the area, which is 1/6, would be multiplying the length times the width. So right there, I already know area equals base times height, or length times width. I'll just use base times height. If I know the area is 1/6, then I know my base, which is the same as my length, is 1.5. So 1.5 times x is equal to 1/6. So what I can do is use division. I can take that 1/6. I can divide it by 1.5. And it should give me what my answer is working backwards. So again, when we divide, we need to keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep that 1/6. I'm going to multiply it by the opposite of 1.5, which is 3/2, which is 2/3. And I get 2/18. And if I simplify that, divide both by 2, I get 1/9. So 1/9 times 1.5 is 1/6. So now I know I have 1/9 right here. And I have 1/9 right here. So now I got to add my perimeter. 1/9 plus 1/9 plus 3/2 plus 3/2. I'm going to get a different color and move this up to here because I got to show a lot of work. So again, I have 1/9 plus 1/9 plus 3/2. Plus 3/2, which we already said that earlier. 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3. So I'm just going to circle this and make this 3. And if I add 3 to 1/9 and 1/9, I should get just 3 and 2/9. That should be your perimeter. So what again, instead of getting a common denominator, saving you all that time, 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3. 1/9 plus 1/9 is 2/9. That's your perimeter all the way on the outside. All right, moving on. Back to those angry looking trapezoids. It looks like we only need to find the area, so let's start out with the formula here. Pick a different color. Let's go with a gray. Okay, so we always have to remember that our formula is area equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. So now we got to plug everything in for A. Area equals base 1 we'll call 4. It's on top. Base 2 is 13. Our height is 8. We divide by 2. Whoops. So again, third step of many, we have 17 here. So we got 17 times 8 divided by 2. We need to figure out what 17 times 8 is. 8 times 7, 56, I believe. 8 times 1 plus 5 is 136. So we take that area equals 136 divided by 2. So what's half of 136? Your area equals 68 centimeters squared. Looking at B, we have two bases. We have, again, we got to do our formula. Area equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. Area equals, we'll go 16 plus 21. The height is 11 divided by 2. So area equals 16 plus 21, which is 37, times 11 divided by 2. We'll go over here and do 37 times 11. 7 and 3, bring down a 0. 7 and 3, add them up. We get 407. So area equals 407 divided by 2. So half of 400 is 200. Half of 7 is 3.5. So it should be 203.5 millimeters squared. Again, I know lots of work. The next 4 aren't going to get any better. So if you got a cramp in your hand right now, take a break and don't fall down the stairs like I did. If you saw the picture earlier, that was by accident. All right. Okay, next we're moving into simplifying expressions using our order of operations. Always refer to your PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So first thing we see here are our parentheses. 3 minus 1 is 2. That stays in parentheses, which some of you might have forgot to do that. You still have that 5 on the outside. You bring down the 16 minus 5. 5 times 2 then is 10. You got your 16, bring it down, and your subtraction sign. 16 minus 10 is 6. Moving on to the next one, you have 31 3/4 times 4 plus 18 5/6 times 6. So again, multiple ways to do that. Starting with our multiplication, we have it here, and we have it over here. We'll save that plus sign for later. I like to convert, just do my 31.75 times 4, which would then give me 0, 2, 0, 3, 7, and 12. Move my decimal twice. So that gives me 127. So I have 127 over here. Plus, I got to do my 18 and 5/6 times 6. So again, an easier way would be to convert that from a mixed number into an improper fraction. Do 18 times 6 plus 5, which would then give me, I believe, 113. over 6. So I have 113 over 6 times 6 over 1, which would then, actually, I could cross cancel here. Give me 1 and 1, which gives me 113 over 1, which is equal to 113. So I have 127 plus 113. Add those two together. They should give you a nice little even 240. If you're not sure about this cross canceling rule here, it's a lot easier because they match up. So we're multiplying each number by the same thing, so we can cancel them out for ones because it would still be multiplying by the same thing. If you have a question on that rule, I can further explain it to you in class tomorrow. Going down to C, we got some exponents and parentheses here. So 2 times 2 is 4 minus 8.18. Now I'm not going to bring down this times 1 here because I know it's already times 1, so I'm going to leave it alone. So now I got this 3.45 times that 4. I can do the work up here. I got 0, I got 2, I got 16 plus 2 is 18. 12 and 1 is 13. So I got, go over two places, I get 13.8. Again, minus 8.18. Can move up and do that over here. Notice I add a 0 so I can line up my places. 10, 2, borrow, 6, borrow from here, 5, bring my decimal straight down, so I get 5.62 for C. Kind of leave that up there. D, I got 4 times 5 minus 2 squared plus 3 times 5 minus 4. So we got problems here. I got my 2 squared here, and I got my 4 times 5 there. So parentheses, why not start? I'd get 5 minus 4. Whoops, thinking 5 times 4, which is 1. So I got 3 on the outside, so that's just 3. So I got that step down. I got 2 squared, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. And I got the 4 times 5, which is 20. So I got 20 minus 4 plus 3. So 20 minus 4 is 16. Here's where that 16 meets up with that 3 right here. 16 plus 3 is 19. Here's the number line for the last question. We gave it to you. You're supposed to plot the following numbers in the appropriate place. Again, this is very important. We had on our Chapter 5 test. You're going to keep seeing it. Sometimes it's easier to convert them all to fractions, convert them all to decimals, whatever you need to do. Right away, we can get rid of a couple easy ones right here. I'll circle those ones here because I got 2. I believe each number is a 1. So right here is my negative 1. Here's my negative 2. My negative half would then be in between 2, 4, 6. So these are going in quarters. So that would be the halfway mark for my negative 0.5. Again, 3 over 2 is equal to 1.5. So there's your 1.5 right here. In between 6 right here. We're going by that. 4 3/4, which again is 4.75. So we're going by quarters. So 3/4 would be, if I can draw a better line right there. Negative 5.5. Here's my 5. We're going in quarters here, so it should be right there. Should have an extra mark there that they don't have. So make sure you got those down. Again, if you need to explain how we found the markings, just ask in class. Thanks for tuning in. If you need any help, we'll see you tomorrow.